Why am I gaining weight on the Weston A. Price diet? Okay, now for those who don't know, Weston A. Price was a dentist back in the early 1900s who went around the world to look at indigenous people and found that they had remarkable bone structure and healthy teeth free from decay. And also they didn't have the diseases of civilization. And they were eating a lot of traditional foods like whole milk, cod liver oil, liver, and organ meats from various different animals, all on their land. And they were eating all their foods unprocessed. They didn't have sugar, and they were consuming a lot of the foods that today are demonized, such as saturated fat. So when one learns about Weston A. Price and they start incorporating all of these traditional foods into their diet, and then they experience weight gain, why is that? Is it because the foods are unhealthy? Is it because the foods are bad? Absolutely not. The problem and the reason why you're gaining weight on the Weston A. Price diet is because you're eating far more calories than what you need every day. Alright, there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound. And when you're eating, beef, even if it's grass-fed, eggs, butter, whole grains, even if they're sprouted, whole milk, and you're going crazy on these foods, right? You learn about them and you decide, I'm just going to start eating all these foods, and I'm going to sit on my couch all day watching TV or sitting at my computer, and I'm going to be drinking whole milk, by the gallon. I'm going to be eating raw cheese. I'm going to be eating eggs. I'm just going to be eating all these foods. It's very, very, very easy to go over 3,000 calories a day. Just trust me. And if you were at a low weight to begin with, so say you were 140 pounds, right? And you started eating the traditional Weston A. Price diet, you could easily exceed 2,000 calories a day, and you will start gaining weight. You will absolutely start gaining weight. And the thing is, if you're gaining weight and you're not exercising, you're going to get chubby, you're going to get fat. I know, because I've experienced it myself. That's what happens. Yes, whole raw milk. Yes, grass-fed beef, eggs, all these wonderful foods. If you eat a lot of them and you aren't exercising, it will just go on you as fat. Believe me, it will. Same thing with carbs, right? If you eat tons and tons of carbs, that's just tons and tons more calories if you're just sitting around. Now, I don't recommend people to eat unprocessed junk food. I'm not recommending people eat fast food junk. But what I am saying is that just because something is good, eating it in excess is not healthy. And we know that people that eat more age faster. People that eat less do not age as fast. That's been proven now in animal studies. Calorie restriction. Now, am I advocating calorie restriction? Absolutely not. When I talk about eating less, I'm talking about eating 10% less calories in your diet, or up to 20% less calories. I do not advocate eating less, or I don't advocate a 25% calorie reduction, because that can cause serious harm to you. So, even if you reduce your calories by 10 or 20% per day, that is not going to hurt you in any way whatsoever. You're just eating less calories. And you can actually eat more calories if you balance it out with a lot of exercise, because you're exercising, you're burning off more calories. So, the thing is, guys, is that if you aren't very active to begin with, and you start eating Weston A. Price diet, and you're eating a lot of foods, right? Say you're eating 6 meals a day, but you're just going crazy, with the food, you're going to gain weight. I don't care what anybody says, you're going to gain weight. If you don't believe me, you can look online, you can read forums, you can read about people asking, why am I gaining weight? And a lot of times they'll just reply, well, cut out more carbs. Well, just by cutting out carbs is not going to help you just lose more weight. Low-carb diets can be very unhealthy because they don't contain any of the fruit, the vegetables, or other food groups. You're basically essentially eliminating entire food groups with important nutrients, phytonutrients, antioxidants, and other things. You shouldn't have a fear of carbs. You shouldn't have a fear of fat. It's just stupid. People are going to fight about carbs and fats and low fat, and they're going to fight about this stuff forever, right? They have since the beginning. And I think it's so stupid and retarded that people keep fighting back and forth, that you can go from one extreme or the other. What you need to do is you just need to eat a balanced diet. You need to eat a balanced diet, and you need to watch how much you're eating. Because you can go in excess of anything, right? You got people eating 30 bananas a day. That's an excess. You don't need 3,000 calories a day unless you're some humongous guy or you're some incredible super athlete who's running all the day, like Durian Rider. If you're running all the time, you're going to need more calories because you're burning off more. But to recommend to some person that's not exercising to eat 3,000 calories, that's insane. And it will do a lot more harm than it will do good. Likewise, and I will say this too, is that people that just don't eat anything, that's bad too. I'm not saying to become an anorexic, and I'm not saying to starve yourself. What I'm saying is to be sensible in what you're eating, right? 10% or 20% reduction in your overall calories every day can lead to a low and healthy weight loss. That's what I'm talking about. But a lot of people don't realize that the more fattier foods are higher in calories, right? There's 9 grams of calories per gram of fat versus, I think it's 6 calories per grams of carbs. I could be wrong about that. But the point is that fat has more calories than carbs. And you really need to watch how much you're eating. Just because something is good doesn't mean you can go overboard and just completely eat as much as you want of it. Because you will gain weight. And unfortunately, when that happens, a lot of people get stressed out, and then they go to doing something even more extreme, or they go on some low-carb diet. But there's a lot of health problems because of a low-carb diet. And so, people can say what they want, but I'm not advocating crash dieting. I'm not advocating, I'm not advocating any of these ideas that people have in their mind. What I'm advocating is a healthy weight loss. I'm advocating eating healthy, unprocessed, traditional whole foods and eating them sensibly. There were times when our ancestors didn't have any food for periods of time. Yet we eat, 6 meals a day? That's insane. In some countries, they only eat 1 meal a day. So we eat a lot more than what we actually need every day, and that's why we're getting fatter and fatter and fatter. Now granted, the sugar, the soda, and all that crap, I don't recommend eating any of that. But what I'm talking about is when you're eating a traditional whole foods, you still need to watch how much you're eating. It's not a ticket to just eat however much as you want. Gluttony is gluttony, right? I don't care about the science. I don't care about the insulin thing. The fact of the matter is, people eat far more than what they really need every day. You need to stop eating so much if you really want to become healthier, slow the aging process, and lose weight. Does that mean starving yourself? No. If you reduce your calories by 10%, that is perfectly healthy and normal, and you will lose weight very slowly, about a pound a week. And once you get to your goal weight, you can stay there and maintain it. Or if you want to build muscle, then you just increase your calories. But the point of this video is that don't think that just because something is healthy that it gives you a free ticket to just eat as much as you want. The problem with a lot of low-carb diets is that they think that just because carbs may make you fat, that therefore they can eat as much eggs and steak and butter and all this other stuff as that they want. But they will gain weight just as easy as someone eating carbs if they eat more than what they really need every day, and especially if they're not being active. And believe me, that is not the healthy way to go, and that's not the healthy way to be. You want to eat healthy food, you want to eat what you really need every day, and you need to exercise, because exercise is just as important as nutrition. Jack LaLanne said it best. Nutrition is queen, exercise is king. You put them together, you have a kingdom. And a lot of people just think that they can just eat these traditional, whole, clean, healthy foods and not have to exercise, and then they're disappointed when they start getting fat. So take it from me. I know I got experience with this, and the bottom line is, don't be a glutton. So that's why you're gaining weight on the Weston A. Price diet. And I could say that across the board for any type of eating. Any type of eating. I don't care if you're eating Cheetos and soda all day. You know, that's probably the worst foods that you could eat. But even if someone only had Cheetos and soda, but they only ate it 2 times a day, and in very small amounts, they wouldn't get fat. Because they probably would only be getting about 500 calories a day. But if they ate bags and bags of Cheetos and tons of soda, then they would pack on pounds really, really quick, just for the fact that that food is very unhealthy to begin with, and it'll cause your insulin to spike and give you disease. So, am I advocating eating Cheetos and soda? Absolutely not. But what I am advocating is eating healthy, whole, and processed foods that our ancestors used to eat. But still watching the portion sizes, because our ancestors didn't just sit at home all day, right, and just eat tons and tons of all of these foods. You know, I believe that's why a lot of the people that promote the Weston A. Price diet look really chubby and fat, is because they're eating way more calories than what they really need. And that's going to keep you gaining weight and keep you bigger. If they just simply lowered the amount of food that they were eating, they would lose weight gradually and they'd become thinner. And I know I've got the experience. I've gone before on vegetarian, vegan diets and whatnot, and the times that I ate less food, and because vegetables and things like that, vegetables and fruits are way lower in calories than your fat foods. So when you're eating foods like that, you will lose weight really, really fast. Like if I completely went vegan, I would lose weight really fast, just for the fact that by eating those certain types of foods and avoiding the animal foods, I'm already eating way less calories in my diet, and that results in faster weight loss. That's why people are so amazed that when they go vegetarian or vegan, that they lose weight so rapidly. It's because there's less calories and carbohydrates than there is in fat. The problem is that they are missing all the fat-soluble vitamins in the animal fats, which are important for your health too. That's why people have all this confusion, which is unnecessary, when you just have to learn to watch your portion sizes, right? You sit down and you have 3 meals a day. You eat your breakfast, but you don't eat a stick of butter. You don't eat a loaf of bread. You don't eat a dozen eggs. You know, you don't eat like that. You eat small amounts. You eat small amounts, you eat healthfully. You eat frugally. You don't just stuff yourself. You don't be a glutton. So, hopefully you guys now understand why people gain weight on Weston A. Price diet, or a paleo diet, or a fruitarian diet, or whatever diet you want to talk about. It's essentially the same rule. So, I don't advocate crash dieting. I don't advocate starvation. I don't advocate any of that. What I do advocate, though, is eating healthy, whole, unprocessed foods, right? And watching how much of that you do eat. So, with that, if you like this video, please like, favorite, and subscribe, and I will catch you later. Bye.